Hello, this is David Gamet from Dakota Outfitter, and today we're going to be tying the Biot Sally. It's a Biot wing from a turkey feather. The Biot Sally works really well if you have the stoneflies that we have are about a size 14 or 16, the smaller ones. This kind of a skinnier body. This is kind of a situation where maybe if the Yellow Sally or your stimulator patterns aren't working as well and you need something a little bit more lighter in the body. And we're using, kind of where the name comes from, is a turkey biot, and these are PMD quills, the color. And this particular pattern has a stacked hackle. There's no hackle under the bottom part. It's stacked up on top with mono. And a little orange butt here to kind of emulate the ovulating stonefly. And a biot wound body. Okay, we'll get started here. We have size 14 Daiichi 1110, either a size 14 or 16. And the thread we're using today is a yellow olive number 70 Denner. Okay, we start out with the thread, pretty much take the thread to the back of the hook. And make sure that your thread kind of is even with the barb here, just quite a ways back. And we're going to dub up the orange ball. We're going to use a little ice dubbing orange. Just use a wispy amount of this dubbing to kind of build up a ball right there. Build up, and this little ball, this ovulating ball, basically that's kind of as they come back and drop their eggs in the water. Now if you have certain time periods, some of the Sallies don't have that, just tie it with the biot. You don't need to put the little orange ball on there. Kind of adds an attraction. Okay, so now the part that we're taking off the biot, we have this whole feather here, and kind of take the fibers, the individual strands of the fiber, and we just pull each one of these off the stem here, off the main shaft, and just pull down and it pulls right off. And you use just one of those, and the first part of it's kind of thin and then it thickens up here and starts out fairly thin. We're going to cut off just a little bit of that, probably about a 1/4 inch of that, and then tie it in right behind that little orange ball. Wind the thread forward to about 2/3 of the hook and just build up a little bit of a taper there with your thread. So we're going to go back and forth, kind of flatten out that thread a little bit, and by counterspinning that thread every time we wind the thread. Okay, and that's attached, and basically we're going to wind that over the top and then spiral that forward. Okay, I'm going to take our thread forward here, and we'll just do a little hackle pliers here to kind of help you open up and see what's going on instead of my fingers. I'm just going to wind that one wrap behind the next. It makes a real nice segmented body with a little bit of kind of almost gilling there from the biot. Come right between here and the hackle, or the biot, to capture it. Wind it forward. We'll bring this up and cut off the excess. Okay, bring the thread right back on top of that. And then for the underwing, we're going to use some tannish yellow CDC. Yeah, got one of the CDC feathers. And just take your thumb and finger and just kind of pull that material back. Grab that, pinch it down. Make a pinch wrap right on top. Try the replacement here. There we go. Pull it to length so it's even up with the back end of the hook. Wind your thread forward a little bit, cut off the excess. Okay, now for the two little wings, we're going to pull off from the stem. If you turn that sideways, you can kind of see there's a little bit of thickness to these. And as you pull them off the stem, they'll have a little tag end like that. And all we're going to do is take our scissors and just kind of round off the biot. So cut that, cut there, flip it around so you can see. Cut that. There's one, and we'll get the other one here. Do the same thing to it. Okay, so we got that rounded off. Okay, I'm going to lay that right up on top of the wing, kind of split that, one on each side. One, cut off the excess. And two. Pull that to length just a little bit. Okay, then we have our little split wing with the underwing of CDC, and that CDC kind of also helps make it look like a little bit of movement, a little lifelessness, and also helps that float. Okay, now for the stacked hackle part, we're going to grab some 0x tippet. And just put just a dab of Zap-A-Gap right on there to lock this mono in on top. That. Put that up. And then we're going to take a pale yellow hackle, about sized for about a size 14, tie that in, and then we're going to dub up this head right here. And the color we're using to kind of stay with that yellow, kind of a olive yellow look. And this is Pale Morning Dun, fine and dry dubbing from Spirit River. Dub up ahead. Okay. Now this part here, I think I'll zoom back a little bit. Try to get you to see this. I'm going to pull the mono out with these two fingers here, past the hackle. Whoop, I don't want to cut your wing. Past the hackle, underneath the mono, and wrap it around. And just keep working. Doesn't matter if it slides up or anything. Just keep working that mono around, or the hackle around the mono until it posts up. Pass it between the fingers. Kind of build up that hackle, and then kind of go up, and then maybe a couple wraps down below that to kind of build that up. Doesn't matter if you go too far because you can just cut the excess off. Okay, and then we're going to fold that over the top. So pull that tight, the bottom one here, and then pull that right on the top. Hold that down. Come up with the thread right behind the eye. Capture that. Pull the material back. Cut off the little excess here. Probably could leave those in there, kind of look like an antenna anyway. We'll cut off the excess. And we'll do a little whip finish on the front. And we have cut off the extra thread. And we have our little stacked hackle wound on top. And kind of the reason for this is so that there's no hackle on the bottom and that rides really, really low on the surface. Plus it makes it look like we have legs here on the side, and without having anything on the bottom, and it's all up on top, and makes that ride real low. And if you have an option that you don't want to do the stackle, then just post or wrap it around the body and you can do the same pattern. And thanks again. This is David Gamet, and this is the Biot Sally.